Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sport Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Friday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to Brisbane in particular and continue our chat with the Sandgate Hawks Women's Football team. Of course, early in the week we interviewed her teammate in Casey Fry. Of course, this week we get to interview one of her teammates, of course, and of course her name's Tracy. She joins us right now. Thanks, Tracy, for joining us.
Thanks, Will. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Pretty good.
Good.
Tell us a bit about the season, because obviously it's been cut short due to COVID. Tell us a bit about how the season panned out.
Yeah, so this season it was reduced to an 8-week season, which was normally we have 16 weeks, but just due to COVID, it was reduced down to 8 weeks. So we started off with a win. And then we played the grand finalists, the premiers from last year, out at Ipswich. So, yeah, so we had a couple of hard games for a couple of weeks, and then we got back on the winning side of things. And we ended up level, 4 wins and 4 losses. So overall, it was a good effort by the ladies.
Now, even though you finished 4-4, did you end up playing in finals or just missed out on playing finals?
No, we just missed out. We needed to win our last game and win by a lot just because of our percentage. But no, unfortunately, we fell short. So, yeah, we ended up finishing 7th, so we just missed the top 6.
I guess considering the season and obviously one round of match, one full round of playing each other once, I guess, and due to what happened with COVID this year, I guess, how difficult was it, and were you optimistic that you were going to get on the field at all?
Well, to be honest, it's sort of with actually playing the season, it's sort of like the longer it got delayed, my personal opinion, the longer it got delayed, the less chance I thought we would have, because it was going to get shorter and shorter the season was going to get shorter. So, but then when they said we were going ahead, we had I think 4 weeks. And that's when it's sort of we got excited, got nervous, didn't know, do we really want to go ahead? We wanted to go ahead. So in that circumstance, once we knew and we played our first game, it was yeah, this is great. We're back. We're on the field. We're doing what we planned and trained for so long. In regards to our actual comp, we actually had 12 teams. So we didn't get to play each team once. So it was sort of a bit of hit and miss, because we had a couple of new teams this season as well join our comp. So you didn't know what you were going to get with them. And then you knew the teams that you played last season as well. So, yeah, it was we were optimistic, always are. And every game we sort of would rock up thinking, oh, we've got a chance. And then, first quarter we're always good. And then, yeah, and then it just sort of went well, or it didn't.
Now, when you got back on the training field after the lockdown that you had at the start of the year, I guess how difficult was that in a way in regards to, getting the training? I'm assuming you had to do it in groups first before you even had a chance to train with the whole team. How difficult was that?
Yeah, it was. The way our club ran it, it was we would train one night a week, and then we'd actually train when we were meant to be playing. So we normally play on Saturday afternoons at 4:45. So we'd train on a Saturday afternoon because that's when we would have been playing if the season had just gone ahead as usual. So we had really good numbers. Probably we were restricted to 20 in a group. So sometimes we would have to separate into 2 separate groups, but most of the time we were lucky just to have, that 20 number turn up to training. So we weren't really impacted that much with the numbers being limited. But it was a bit disjointed. But when you got down there, everyone just got involved, did their best, and all gained a little bit and got to know each other as well. So in a team environment, it was great. We got to know each other, and also working on our skills and our fitness as well.
Now, tell us a couple, maybe the young players coming through there at Sandgate that we should watch out for in the future.
Oh, definitely. We got quite a few young girls like Casey, like small fry. She's very lively, and for a lady who hasn't played footy before, her skills, her want to learn, her team involvement is like, what you'd expect for somebody who could actually, if they wanted to, could apply and go up. Like, we play Div 2 football, which is the lowest. So she could quite easily go up to Div 1. And if she even wanted to put a mind to it, she could actually go further if she, like, even go up higher. Tegan Bevan, she's just, as we heard on the other night, she just goes hard, plays fair, got the skills, just whether she wants to commit herself and put in the effort to train hard and like, give up those Friday nights going out before game day.
Yes, of course.
The coach doesn't know, don't hurt him.
I'm sure you'll know soon. Now, talking about your coach, of course, obviously that is Ben. Obviously, he also coaches the 15s, which obviously he's got a pretty good 15s team as well coming through. I guess, tell us a bit about the coach.
Oh, Longy, he's a great guy. He's been getting a bit of loving from all the girls. So he was great that he came on. He understands the game, understands women's football, keeps it simple, but it works. Like, females we take things literally. So if you tell us like handball 3 times and kick, we'll handball 3 times, even if it's not necessary. So, but he's just kept it simple, involved everybody, treated everybody the same. So we're all one team. So yeah, so grateful that he jumped on board and helped us out. And the 15s, they are superstars. Like, I wouldn't like to be playing against them. They are just ruthless. They just take the game on, play as a team, work for each other, and it just sets what the club's not going to have in the future, as long as they can stay together and go through the ages. So yeah.
Well, you just mentioned about the 15s. Obviously, we had Izzy on the show early early in the week from the 15s team. Obviously, they're currently undefeated at the moment and pretty much secured a grand final spot no matter what happens in the next couple of weeks. I guess, how good is that? And has the C team, had a chance to make, because obviously the season's done and dusted, had the C team or even had a chance to maybe go down and support them, even though I know that normally the C women's and the 15 team, normally their games are colliding?
Yeah, with that, no, they normally play Sundays. So most of the times, like all our junior girls, like we've got 13s, we've got 2 13s teams, 15 teams, and a 17 team. So we try and get down and support them just because, like, they're the future of our club. They inspire us and keep us wanting to improve, so that when they come through the ranks, that like hopefully one day like we'll still be playing and have these girls come along and fill our spots. So I do the running for the 13s girls. So that's sort of my recovery session on a Sunday. So normally Saturday night after the game, have a few drinks, celebrate, win or lose, and then get up Sunday morning and roll the old body over to get out all the lumps and bumps and that I cop on a Saturday afternoon. So, but all the girls are inspirational because they're just fearless. They love the game. They love playing with their teammates, and it filters through to the women's as well. So it's just a really good vibe in the female spot at Sandgate.
Now, you mentioned that you help out in the junior side of things, especially obviously the 13s have got a good chance of making the grand final. Obviously, they need to win the next couple of games to get there. But I guess tell us from what you've seen from the 13s, and obviously, and you mentioned about the 15s, so they're absolutely killing it at the moment. I guess, especially from the 13s, tell us, I'm assuming you got to see Lucy as well, who we actually had on the show with Casey early in the week. Tell us a bit about the 13s and what you've seen from them.
Well, with the 13s, they've got 2 teams. I'm not quite sure how they're divided up as such. The 13s, there's two teams, as I said, but they're all great. Like they've got girls who've been playing for a couple of years. They've got brand new girls. They all just want to listen and learn. And even if they're getting flogged by 100 points, they just keep trying. They keep their heads up, and they just take the game with pride. Like they don't put their heads down, and they get around each other. They celebrate the little, like, you know, the little things they do well on the field, and it's just a joy to be involved with. Like, it keeps you just understanding why you play the game. And all these girls, they've got futures. Like, in 5 years' time, when they do get to like senior level, they're going to have the experience. They understand the game, what's expected, and hopefully the love for the game will just grow, and they'll just want to continue playing.
Now, Tracy, how did you get involved in footy, and why did you choose it?
Oh, well, there's two parts to that. My brother, my older brother, he played down at Sandgate, so that was like about 30 years ago. So I've always been a part of Sandgate. And then in 2017, they put a sign up, and because we live close to the club, so when I'd, like, you know, go for a run or something like that, I'd see the sign that they're going to have a women's team in 2017. And my husband likes going, oh, you should play, you should play. I'm like, yeah, no. I've never played football before, always played touch footy sort of thing. So no contact, nothing like that. And because my brother played and he saw us, so they had a bit of a midlife crisis, those two, and decided, oh, it'd be great if Tracy plays Aussie rules footy. So, yeah, so that's how I got involved. So at the age of 43, I made my debut in 2017, and haven't looked back. I absolutely love it. It's the best hour and a half of my week. I get out all the anger and frustration and stress from work and life, and yeah, so it is the best thing I could have done. And yeah, I just hope I've got another season in me to go around again next year.
Now, I guess throughout your footy journey, I'm assuming, obviously, being part of the first ever Sandgate team, that must mean a lot to you. But also, is there any other highlights on top of that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, the highlights are you meet all different types of females. They come from all different backgrounds, different ages. So you get to a whole new set of friends that you most probably would never had anything to do with, just given like everyone's background. So that's been a real highlight. The support that we've got from the club and family and friends, like coming and watching us and helping out with volunteering. Yeah, it's just built a real good community. Our first game that we ever played, a funny story, we had a trial game and we thought we were going all right at training, and we played a trial game and we got flogged, and like I think it was like 2 minutes to go and we finally scored a point. And then they called the chook raffle out, and they must have been waiting for us to finally score a point. And then they called the winner of the raffle, and it's like, oh, okay. So we're thinking, oh, what are we doing? So anyhow, our first game, road trip up to Gympie. So it's like at least 2 hours. So we hired a bus, and there was like, I think we had 13 on the bus. Like, you meant to have 16 players to begin with. So we're like, oh, what are we doing? So anyhow, I think we went on the bus trip, had a bit of a party on the way up there, and we actually won our first game. So it was so cool. It was amazing. And the bus trip back was just awesome. And so to start our football careers on that note, you couldn't get any better. Like, yeah, it was just like, wow, this is awesome. Like, yeah. So that, I'd say that would have been the most memorable moment to start the football career, because most of us had never played a game before. I think we had 2 or 3 ladies that actually played before. So everyone else has like, oh, no idea. And it's like coming from non-contact sport background. So it's sort of like standing 3 feet away, like netball, and touching them instead of tackling. So it sort of did the coach's head in a bit, but we sort of grew into it. And then we turned into these little angry elves, sort of like, because our Sandgate colours look like we're little elves. And we ended up making the finals in our first year. So it was a really good first season, and something to be proud of considering where we came from to where we ended up. So yeah, that was cool.
Now, you mentioned obviously making the trip to Gympie, and I've been to Gympie's home ground, a little small ground just off the highway on the Bruce Highway. Of course, for me, coming from Harvey Bay, that's the usual trip that I usually go down to Gympie. When you arrived at Gympie, obviously in a very small ground, the club rooms look like it's complete wrecked. I guess tell us, I guess, what was it like playing there at Gympie, especially on a small ground down the bottom of the hill and coming out of the rooms and down that big hill to the ground?
I know. Well, funny you should mention that, Hill, because when we turned up, like the whole 13 of us pile out of the bus and there's men's game going on and we're like, oh my God, there's so many people here. Oh no, like we were so nervous straight away, on top of the nerves of the 2-hour bus trip anyhow. So I think we'd exhausted half of our energy already. And then we get changed. And because the men were in there, we saw half getting strapped outside, and it's sort of like, oh no, people walking past and we've got our shirts off getting strapped and all this sort of thing. Thinking, oh, what have we got ourselves into? And then we saw the hill that we had to walk down in our footy boots, and all we're thinking is, just don't fall over and slide down on your bum. That's the only thing. But it was so cool because at half time they had a band going and all the people on the hill, it was a real party atmosphere. And then I think we won 16-13. It was a low scoring game or whatever. And then we won, but that was so cool. Ended up going back to the club and staying there and having a few drinks and just mingling with the opposition. And it was just awesome. And then we got on the bus for the trip home, and it was we ran into the bus driver at the end of the season up at Hinterland. And he's like, I remember you girls. And we're like, oh, who's this old dude? And he says, best bus trip ever. I've never seen females drink so much in such a short time. And we only had one toilet break on the way home. And he's just gone, he's a top shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're already remembered for our bus trips.
Yes, I do know you when you're talking about the Gympie band. Yes, I do know exactly what you're talking about. But now, yeah, you might as well tell us, what position do you play on the field? And if you had a preferred position where you love to play on the field, where would that be?
Well, when I first started in 2017, I was in the midfield. And then come 2018, they promoted me to centre-half back. So, yeah, it's not because of my height or my aerial ability. It's got nothing to do with that. So, yeah, but my dream position, and when my husband and my brothers said, oh, look, Trace, they'll put you in the forward pocket. You'll be just snapping goals. You're just there crumbing, snapping goals. So that is my dream position. Longy put me in there for I think 2 minutes. And by the time I ran to the forward line, I was cooked. I'm like, oh, I'm out of breath already. And then the ball came and I'm like, I'm buggered. I can't kick the ball. So, yeah, so my dream position is the forward pocket. So maybe next year when we get the young girls coming through from our 17s team, they can do all the hard work and I can just sit up forward and try to kick a few goals.
Yes, that's the way. That's right. Get us else to do all the hard work.
Exactly.
Now, what does the sport of footy mean to you, especially being there at Sandgate? Obviously, I'm sure it's been a family tradition being there at Sandgate.
Yes, yeah, it is a family tradition. It's a great club. Everybody helps each other out. We've got parents that play, mothers that play in our team who've got kids that play at the club. We're helping out with the junior girls. Then, their parents come and support us and help us out with volunteering and everything like that. So it's sort of one in, all in. And that's both with males and females. So, we're all one club. It's just a really good environment. Everything is just, as long as you have a crack and you follow the motto, the care, courage, pride, everything just goes along nicely. So, yeah, definitely a place to come. And everyone's treated the same. Everyone's given the same opportunities. So if you want to have a go at football, come down. It's like there's fitness, there's social, like, you know, everybody just works together.
Now, what would be your advice to people that should get down to Sandgate? Obviously, I've gone past your venue and been there probably once before down at Sandgate. Probably one of the best venues I've been to. Tell us, obviously, how people can get involved and whereabouts is your home ground for people that have no idea where it is, especially those in Brisbane?
Yeah, we're on the north side of Brisbane. Even though we're called Sandgate, we're actually in Pregame, so on Lemke Road, Pregame. This year we actually just got brand new sheds built because we got a women's grant given to us in 2018. So we got brand new sheds, new facilities, even got an ice bath. Not that anyone's actually jumped in it. I don't even know if we've even put any ice in it yet. Maybe the masters have. So yeah, it's a welcoming club. It's one of those places where come along, get involved. You'll be welcome with open arms. Yeah, it's just a good place to be for juniors, for females, young or old. It doesn't matter. Just come down and have a go.
Now, let's finish up with a couple of light-hearted questions about the team. Now, I know you got nominated on one of those questions. I can't remember which one it was that Casey nominated you for. But I'm going to think it's funny. Yeah, I think she might have. Let's start with this one. Who had the most embarrassing moment on the field this season, and what was it?
There's been a few, and they all stem back to the same person, and that would be our captain. So the first game that was a home game, and she was like, "You got to go out and do the toss, Brooke." And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "What for?" I said, "Like, you know, so if you win the toss, you get to choose which way you go." And she goes, "Well, how do I know which way to go?" And it's like, you just choose, like, simple as that. So that sort of started the season. But then we'd won a game against Redcliffe, at Redcliffe. And so they got all the Redcliffe signs up, everything like that. And, like, we've done the cheers afterwards, and they've gone Sandgate, three cheers for Sandgate, 3 cheers for the umpires. And then Brookie's gone, 3 cheers for Pine Rivers. And we're just like, oh, Brooke, we're playing Redcliffe. So we were just like going, no, this just did not happen, did it? And we're like, okay. Anyhow, let's go inside. We'll just have a drink together, everyone. Come on. So, yeah, it's just like, yeah. I know. Gotta love her.
I mean, how can she get Pine Rivers and Redcliffe so mixed up?
Well, there you go.
Now, the question I'm going to ask following that, did the opposition pick her up on it?
Oh, there was just dead silence. And even us, we're sort of like going, when she's gone 3 cheers for Pine Rivers, we're like, yeah. Thanks, Redcliffe. Like, and they're just like, yeah. So that was a bit awkward. Like, you know, you're sort of like just walking off together going, okay, sorry about that.
I'm sure they'll forgive you for it. Now, who's the comedian in the team?
Oh, Jano. She's our Kiwi girl, and she's all cuzzy bro gangster homie, and she just goes off in riddles, and she provides the music, so you get anything from like country and western to salt and pepper rapping, and it's just like, it's just, and this is pre-game, so you're trying to get you know, up and about for the game, and you just hear this stuff, and you're just like, whoa, like.
Well, we might as well go on to that question. Normally I'll do it a little bit later, but I'm going to go on with that one. Obviously, we just mentioned who runs the playlist. Now, I have to ask, what is the worst song on it?
Oh, is that like, I like big butts and I cannot lie. And it's just like, it's like beaming out, and you're just like, oh, thank goodness there's enough, like, you know, enough walls now between the, like, us and the opposition around us. They'd be like, what sort of team are we going to be playing up against? Like, you know, and then there's like, you know, a bit of like Kenny Rogers come out, and you're just like, okay, well, that's one extreme to the other. It keeps us on our toes, that's for sure.
So the question I want to ask is, now when it comes with obviously, I know the younger people will say, the oldie songs, even though I actually like all those songs. I guess, what's the reaction?
My generation song.
I love my 60s, 70s, and 80s. So,
Yeah.
But especially the younger ones in the team, what do they think of these songs?
Oh, they love them. They're like, oh, these songs are so great. They're so cool. I'm like, well, your parents weren't even thinking of you yet. Like, so I don't even know. And all it does to us older ones is like just take us flashbacks to times where like, I was trying to forget that.
Now, who's the best singer and dancer in the team?
Oh, they all think they can sing. They all think they can dance. And I must admit, this year with COVID and the restrictions, we didn't have the kick-ons after the games as much as we used to. So we didn't get to see any of them really break out too much. But I'm sure like some of the Instagram pictures and stuff like that and our silly Saturdays, it's like, there's got to be Tegan. Tegan's in everything. Like she plays footy hard, she parties hard. Then she goes to sleep hard, like, and then we got Tia and some of the young girls, like, they bust out all the moves and I'm just like, oh, geez, if I try to do that, I'm sure I'd pull a muscle or hurt me back or something.
Two final ones before I'll let you go. Firstly, do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Oh, every Saturday I sort of like just sleep in, have my normal coffee and croissant for a little brekkie. And then maybe like on the way to the fields or on the way, if we're on a away game, on the way there to the opposition fields, I normally just have my chicken and salad roll, have half of it, put the other half in the footy bag, and then come to Saturday the following, it's like, oh, that's right, I forgot to take that chicken sandwich out of my footy bag. So it's pretty much the standard every week.
And of course, I've got to finish up with this one last one. Now, when I had Casey on the show, now she nominated you for, I think it might have been comedian in the team or very close to it, or the best personality in the team. I guess, how good to hear that from Casey? I'm assuming you heard the interview.
Yeah, no, I watched it. Yeah, I watched all the girls. They've been amazing, given a lot of love to Longy. So, yeah, it is. And that's what's so good about it. It's like the young girls keep you motivated, keep you wanting to improve and just to have fun and like, not take each other seriously. And like our motto is like, if you stuff up a kick or something and you don't laugh at yourself, we will. So might as well just enjoy it and just have fun. That's the main thing.
Well, Tracy, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome having you on the show. And we can't wait to see what happens in 2021 down there at the Hawks. But obviously, with your involvement with the 13s and obviously in the junior side of things, obviously we want to send our best wishes to the juniors in particular. Obviously, they've still got a couple of rounds to go before the finals. And hopefully we can see some premierships coming down at Sandgate in the next 3 or 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, the 15s have got a good shot at it, getting right behind them and getting behind like all the teams, like both in the males and females. So, yeah, so bring on the finals for the juniors and 2021 for the women's team.
Great, and thanks so much for joining us.
Lovely. Thanks for having me, Will.
As Tracy there joins us from the Sandgate Hawks, of course, women's football team. Make sure in 2020 when you get down there to Sandgate, we'll put all the details up on how you can go about it. Of course, one of the best footy venues I've been to in Brisbane. And so make sure you get down there and get involved with the Hawks. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on Lockdown Friday.